how did you get into ghost hunting and how long did you do it?
Oh, I've been experiencing with ghosts and seeing ghosts pretty much all my life. When did I get, as far as going out and actually hunting them?
Yeah, what brought on the subject of this show there?
Probably when I was in my 30s, maybe. And I'm old now, so longer than you've been alive, probably.
First thing we're going to ask about is the Doe Run experience. We wanted to hear that one out of the gate, the old faithful.
I've had a couple of experiences at Doe Run. I knew some. My nephew was a ghost hunter, and he had went out to Doe Run first, and he said there's something on that island. There's a little island out there. He said there's something out there on that island. Well, we went out. After that, my sister and I rented the entire Doe Run Inn for the night. And oh, wait a minute. I guess prior to that, I had gone on a ghost hunt there that somebody else was putting on. They were pretty hokey, actually. There was one of the people who was supposedly in charge made a comment about, oh, well, the ghosts can get from one building to the other. Well, of course they can. They're ghosts. They can do what they want. It's not like they have to walk, you know. So after that, then my sister and I decided we would just go ahead and rent the entire building and do our own ghost hunt. So that was good, except there were some people there that didn't know what they were doing. And they decided they were going to do a seance. I don't like the idea of seances because you don't know who you're calling in. So the only reason I went in there was to try to avert any problems. Well, before I knew it, this girl, I don't remember what her name was, Katie, but
she had a stumpy arm. That's all I remember.
She had one arm? Flabby arms?
She had a stumpy arm.
Oh,
she didn't have a
hand. She said
on
flabby
arm.
arms. I was like, wow, that's mean.
No, she didn't have it. She didn't have an arm. But anyway, she said, we want someone to come to this seance. Even if you're outside, come in. And I immediately knew she's called that demon in. And I didn't believe in demons. I'm going to tell you, I did not believe in demons at that point. I did after that night. And first, my sister, who was sitting next to me, started doing weird stuff like rolling her eyes. And right, so I didn't know what was going on with her. And then behind me was a corner cupboard thing. And the door started opening. This is the honest God's truth. Doors started opening by themselves and started rattling stuff inside. And then it started tipping over. Well, I had one daughter at the end of the table next to me. Katie was sitting across the table. A niece was sitting there. My sister was sitting. So can I say naughty words? I won't actually say the naughty.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're explicit.
But I stood up, and back then I was like 40 pounds lighter than I am now. I was about the size of Katie. And I put my hands on my hips and looked at that corner cupboard and said, my God is stronger than your demon. So do not fuck with my children. And it sat back up. And then you could just feel the silence. And it was just an oppressive presence. It was awful. It was awful. And I I told Katie at that point in time, you need to go home. You need to go home. And my sister and I stayed up all night because I said, we can't leave here. We have to stay and take care of this demon because there's children that come in here. We can't let that happen. We got to get rid of this thing. So it was about 3 or 4 hours until it finally left. And I knew it left when I could see a little boy spirit coming down the stairs. And I had to go to the bathroom really bad. And I walked right past where I knew the demon was in the basement, and I walked right past the basement door. And I was so excited because I went potty by myself because I was a little bit frightened before that, to be honest. It was a scary experience.
Yeah, it's to be expected.
I'm surprised that you were just a little bit frightened.
What?
He said he's amazed you're just a little bit frightened.
I would be terrified.
I'm scared right now.
Well, I tell you what happened after that. I was driving truck at the time, and I was I don't remember where I was driving, but I heard more like felt something in the back of in the sleeper. And then I heard the voice saying, "Today is your day to die." And I pulled over, and I heard the thing say to me, "You didn't think you were going to get rid of me that easy." So I pulled over. I wasn't going to drive anymore that night. And I called my sister and said, "Lou, we have to go back to Doe Run." And she said, "Oh, hell no." And I said, "Yeah, we're going back to Doe Run because we got to do something with that demon." And she said, "Oh my God, has he been bothering you too?" And he had been bothering her as well. So we went back out there, and just her and I dealt with it again. Told it to go back to the island and stay on the island. And I never had any issues after that. But so there are demons. Yes, there are.
Yeah. Now, Doe Run, where's that at? I didn't do any of that.
Brandenburg, Kentucky.
And you said, we've heard this story before, full disclosure to all the 3 people listening, but it was so interesting I had to hear it again. And you said when you were driving the truck and heard the demon again, it was in Kentucky.
It may have been in Kentucky.
Okay, I may have made that part up.
Yeah, it might have been. I might have been in Kentucky.
I'll say, I could just picture you driving down I-65, like, oh no.
I was on I-65. I do know that.
Okay.
And I called my sister and said, "Come on." And then I called my dispatcher and said, "Take me off. I gotta go take care of this demon." They were used to that.
I have a quick question for Kate, actually.
Kate's taking care of Johnny.
Oh.
Is she here? She not
Oh, there
here?
she is.
Oh, I thought she was stepping away.
No, I put Johnny. Johnny's there. He's chilling. What's up, Sam?
Oh, there he is. No, I was gonna say, whenever your mom told you to leave, like how did you feel about leaving her there? Like, how was it hard for you to leave? And leave
No,
her
I knew
behind?
that she could handle it. I knew it was gonna be fine with her and Aunt Lou there. So me and my cousin Sarah and my sister Annie, we were preparing to leave. This is actually kind of a funny story. So our rooms, right, we were in the inn. So our rooms were upstairs. So we go upstairs to get our clothes and stuff so we could get out of there. And I walk into the room where all my stuff was. There was a rocking chair over here in the corner. So I walk in the room, and over here in the corner is a rocking chair. And I walk in, and the rocking chair is moving, and there's an old man sitting in there. And I turned to him and I said, "Oh God, you scared me." And then I turned back and I was like, "Oh." And he wasn't there, of course, when I turned back. But I was like, "Yep, it's time for us to go." I was like, we grabbed our belongings and like ran down the stairs and was out the door. Yeah, I was okay with leaving her there. I knew she could handle it.
Damn. I forgot about that one. My heart skipped a beat when you said that. The old man lost the ghost. So
that was a very long night. Her and I just sat in the lobby, and we did a lot of praying. I'm telling you, we did a lot of praying and a lot of calling our spirit guides to help us. And it sounded, the only way I can describe it is almost like a lion fight or something in the basement, because we knew it was in the basement. There's no way to describe or tell you why I thought it was in the basement, but I knew that's where it was, and she did too. So it was in the basement, and then it left.
So something to add to that, we knew it was in the basement because remember how those bathrooms, we had to walk by the basement door to get to the bathrooms?
Yes, I was scared.
So we could feel it. I mean, when you walk by those basement stairs, you could definitely feel some sort of creepiness, like hair stands up on your, like it is right now, stands up on your arm. And you just kind of.
Is that place like abandoned, or is it run down, or just like a hotel?
It at the time it was a bed and breakfast. It's now closed. I don't know if you could get in there or not.
I mean, so it wasn't. So I was just thinking, it wasn't like door kicked in, spray paint everywhere kind of place.
No.
Okay.
No, it was an actual. It was an actual inn.
Oh, so it was. Man, that makes it worse. People
right.
Going. In my mind, I was thinking one of the classic haunted places where spray paint was everywhere and toilet paper and vagrants.
No.
When I think of haunted places like Waverly Hills, you go in, it's just trashed. And there goes Johnny.
So
we were.
Justin, if you don't mind.
What was that?
No, I was gonna ask if you don't mind if I ask, if I just bring up one other thing.
Oh, no.
Just because they were talking about being able to feel when they were walking past the door, right? I had a crazy experience when I was. It was one Christmas we were walking across to go to my great grandmother's house. Was across it was just next door to my grandparents' house, and we were going across the way to get some drinks from her house. It was no one lived there anymore. It just sat there. But my cousin had always said when she lived there that it was definitely haunted. And me and my brother walked across there, and I saw through the back door, and I got the craziest level of fear that hit me. I didn't take another step. I waited for my brother to come back out that door, and I took off back to the house. Like it was the weirdest thing. Like I saw inside through the window, and I just got fear just rushed over me, and I was like, I can't get any closer to that place. I don't know.
And that could have been your spirit guides too, warning you to stay away from there.
I mean, I had spent the night in there one time, and as soon as we turned the lights off, stuff started moving. I mean, you could hear stuff in the corner moving. My brother heard footsteps before he went to sleep. My cousin and her husband were always talking about stuff happening. Her voices talking to her, stuff falling off the tables. So I was like, and when that happened to me, I was like, yeah, I'm never going back in there. I was like, something was telling me don't go in there. So
that sounds like my sister's house. She has some stuff going on in her house all the time.
I don't know how people live.
I've always like that. I always just kind of feel like some people are more sensitive, maybe, like because my brother was always like, I never heard anything or felt anything in the house growing up, and I had my shirt pulled, I heard breathing, I heard banging and walking around when no one was awake, but nobody else ever, I don't know.
Well,
so maybe it's.
You might be, yeah, you're sensitive to it more.
Hey, my wife sees ghosts every time we go to a ghost hunt, and I can't stand it because I'm like, get away from me. She's like, right there. Saw a soldier in Savannah. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I wanted to leave. She's like, let's stay and watch. I'm like, dude, you're seeing stuff left and right. I'm out.
Well, and that might be why you don't see them, because they know that they would scare you.
Maybe at first.
They're that way. You know, they don't want to. For the most part, they don't want to scare you.
Oh, for real? I thought that might have been their MO.
No. And when I die, I'm going to scare some people.
You got a list?
I do.
Hope I'm not on it. No.
I think once we go to the other side, all this stuff from this life goes away. We don't even worry about it.
Have you ever heard, what's the girl that played Blanche on Golden Girls? I can't think of her name. It's irrelevant, her name, but you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Rue Callahan or something.
Yeah. She said that her brother died and they knew he was going to die. He was sick. And she said that they had a signal that when they died, it'd be electricity. And he died. And like a day later, all the lights in the house like went out simultaneously for like an hour, something to that effect.
Well, you know, I used to own a New Age bookstore, and we had several resident ghosts in there. Sometimes they would follow me home, and they'd be in my car, and I'd have to tell them, go home, go on back out of here. But every I believe it was Sunday night, Katie would have to verify this, but every Sunday night, I think like at 7:30, the phone or the answering machine would kick on. The phone would not ring, but the answering machine, this was back in the day, the answering machine would kick on every Sunday night at like 7:30. Now, at that point in time, we lived out in the boondocks, and y'all aren't old enough to remember Green Acres, but our telephone was actually up at the top of the telephone pole, and you had to climb up a ladder to get to the telephone. That was a true story. But spirits like to mess with flashlights, and you know, you go to a ghost hunt, and your flashlights are going to go off, your batteries are going to go dead. As a matter of fact, we were doing a ghost hunt at I want to say it was Mansfield Reformatory, where the what is that movie, Shawshank or whatever? Redemption. Yeah, it was filmed there. And Katie and I were up on the second or third row of jail cells, and there was nothing but the stairs and like fencing and that kind of stuff. There wasn't anything up there, but I think either her camera went dead, or so she was changing the battery or changing film or something. So I was bending down and trying to get something out of the camera bag, and I felt something grab me, and I was like, oh my god, and I said, Katie, there's a rat. And she said, Mom, there's no rats here. There's nothing here. Well, one of the guards heard me, and he said, you know, I asked if we were all right. And I said, oh, I thought there was a rat. And he said, let me ask you, did it grab you? Did something grab you? And I said, yeah. He said, no, that's our ghost. He grabs people there. And I said, oh, thank God. I thought it was a rat. Katie was like, you're about the only person on earth that would be happy that it was a ghost, not a rat. But that was kind of funny.
And that happened to be the next one on the list, was Mansfield.
Oh,
the Shawshank.
That was fun. That was a real fun.
You only do that one once?
I believe only once. Yeah.
Was it nearly as eventful as the Doe Run?
Doe Run has got to be
hands down.
Yeah. Or Moundsville State Prison in West Virginia was pretty scary. There was an infirmary there that I believe Katie gets this as well, but you get physical. I pick up physical things of the spirits. Katie went into the infirmary and got very sick. And I personally think that was a spirit that was doing that to her. But there we walked into a cell and heard very clearly, "Get out," just like that, "Get out." And we just backed up. It was, that place was, that it was a scary, it was such an, it was a bad, the whole night was just very oppressive feeling. I don't think I'd want to go back there simply because of that.
Just hearing those voices, that's the scariest thing. And I dream. So you know how you dream and you wake up and you think it's really happened. I dream that happens before. Maybe it happens. It's like the scariest thing in my mind is to hear a voice that's not there. Somebody.
It's just Katie on FaceTime. It's all right.
Yeah, that was kind of scary. I wasn't ready for that one. And thank God Sam's computer screen just had a Sonic commercial. I didn't know what we were about to see. When he turned it around, I was like, oh, this is awkward.
I was trying to raise the camera up a little bit. No, one thing I was going to say a minute ago, though, because Justin was saying his wife would see stuff and he wouldn't see it. It may be the same with us, because there was one time I was asleep and she woke up and she swore, and this was 2 times in the same night. She swore she saw a man, looked like maybe in Civil War dress, because I used to live in Decatur. There was a battle in Decatur, and standing there just looking at me asleep multiple times the same night. I was like, well, I'm probably glad I didn't know that, but thank you. She's seen shadows move across the room even in our new house, and I don't see it. I hear things, I don't see them. I've heard voices here, so it may be, because it would definitely scare me. I'm probably more than her, but I guess you would get used to it.
Well, you do. I see dead people a lot. So I just recognize them for what they are, and they're not there to hurt you. They're not there to hurt you. And I always say, there's never been a documented case of anybody ever getting hurt by a spirit. So
when you see him, is it in public or just like at your house? In public, like just not at home. You see him like out and about.
Out and about, or at home. Mostly I just know they're there. But we were out at Gettysburg and I saw they were actually doing a reenactment out at Gettysburg, and I happened to be there. I didn't realize it was a reenactment time, and I looked over and I saw a couple of Confederate soldiers walking. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird, because this is where the Union guys are all camped out here. So that was weird. And so then I turned around again and they were gone. Well, there was nowhere for them to go to. So then okay. That was just spirits. And I asked then I ran into one of the Union soldiers and I asked him if there had been any of the Confederate soldiers, and he said no. But he said I've heard people talk about in this area that they see Confederate soldiers. So I mean that you just see them.
So what do they look like? Like do they come in kind of different levels of looking like normal, or do they,
It depends.
Are they kind of different?
It depends. I was on a flight one time, and there wasn't very many people. This was a long time ago. I was in the back of the plane and I was laying down, and I woke up and there was a lady there in a purple dress, but I knew she wasn't real. And she said to me, don't worry, it's going to be okay, but you might want to go to your seat now. Okay. And then she was gone. So I got up and I went up to my seat, put my seatbelt on. And about that time, the stewardess, or back then they were called stewardess, came along, and I said, what's going on with the plane? And she said, well, what do you mean, ma'am? And I said, no, I know something's going on with the plane. Well, all the hydraulics had gone out on the plane. So they were going to try to land in Denver with no hydraulics. So they were manually doing something to the wheels so we could land. And I said, well, it's going to be okay, because the lady in the purple dress told me it was going to be okay, which kind of weird, but
that is kind of weird. Just randomly traveling ghost. They don't really.
well,
Ghost on plane.
Yeah.
it could have
Like a
been,
movie.
it could have been just one of my spirit helpers or something.
Yeah. That's,
I've seen my dad in my car, and has said to me, be careful up here or whatever.
while you were driving,
Yes.
that's a little dangerous. That was. That wouldn't work out well for most people.
Well, I know that he's around. That's.
I've always thought that I've been haunted by Hank Williams, because every time I hear a good Hank Williams songs, I get chills. Why's Kate laughing? It's not funny.
Well, she's, she's thinking about that. What is that song? The Rider? No, what is the name of that song?
It never happens with Tupac.
David Allen Coe. But the night that I saw my dad, the night I saw my dad, though, I was driving by myself up from Florida, and this was long before Katie was a twinkle in anybody's eye, and so it was just me and my two older ones, and my radio turned on to some old 1950s country music, and I listened to it for a second, and then I turned the station, and that's what it was again, the old staticky, stuff. And then I looked over, and there was my dad sitting there. So he was just trying to get my attention, I guess, by that old music.
So he's
On every station.
I don't know how old he was when he died, but was he younger when you saw him, or just how you remembered him?
He was only 41 when he died. So
okay, so it wouldn't have been much of a transition.
No.
I know most people see people in their 30s or late 20s when they come back. I say that like I study, but
I think that the age you see them at what age that you would recognize them if it's a person that you know. Otherwise, I think maybe they'd come back as what period of time that they were most comfortable in their own life.
Yeah, in their prime, kind of like that.
Right.
You never see somebody come back as like a arthritic.
My old grandfather sitting in a chair was old when I saw him. So, and that was one of my very first experiences.
Do you think they're the actual spirits, or do you think they're energy, or do you think, like, you hear like varying kind of opinions on that? So I was just wondering what your opinion was on.
No, I think they are spirits, and I think that they can manifest that energy so that they can be seen, because it's important to them that you recognize them. I don't think it's just, I think some of it is just residual. If you see somebody on a battlefield, that might just be some type of residual thing. But if you see someone that is interacting with you, that's a spirit. So there is a difference. Just the residual, like a time, a loop that just continues of when, if they died a traumatic death on that battlefield, that energy just stays there, I think.
It's got to be rough. Some people think it's like the dimensions combining, like a crack in the dimensions or something to that effect.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that I was down at Somerset, Kentucky at a battlefield, and I saw a younger boy actually that had been obviously a soldier, and he was just sitting under a tree just crying, and all these, just because he was so overwhelmed, and he didn't respond to me at all. I think that was just residual, but what a way to end, have your life ended. I mean, it was like he was just defeated.
And now, are graveyards, do they have are they what, lack of a better term, are graveyards more haunted than actual places someone died?
I don't think so. I think by the time that they get to the graveyard, most spirits recognize that they're on the other side. Their body might be there for their ashes, but they're not their soul.
Yeah, I've never thought graveyards were as scary as people make them out to be. Like that may be the least scary, other than Marie Laveau's cemetery.
Oh, I've been there. Yeah, down in New Orleans.
They could burn that one to the ground. I mean, and maybe the bird girl in Savannah, but other than that, they're not that scary. They're kind of interesting.
I love cemeteries. I love walking around the cemeteries and looking at all the different, headstones. And
I'd stay in one before I would a sanitarium.
You can and what you can read about the people, I think it's super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Until you run across like a baby one, and then you're like depressed and want to go home. But
yeah,
those are the worst.
Well, we have a family cemetery, so and I was born right across the road from it, and I'll be buried there. So I've told my kids, put it on my headstone. I didn't go very far in life. Born on one side, buried on the other. But I feel very comfortable in there. But I know everyone in it. No, it sounds kind of weird, but
that makes sense.
It's a private family cemetery. Nothing to be. And my grandma used to say, you don't have to be afraid of the dead ones. It's the alive ones you have to be afraid of.
Yeah, there are documented cases of live people hurting folks.
Exactly.
Those exist.
Yeah.
There's one down here that's got a lawn statue of a little boy peeing in it. And I've been wanting to go look at that for a while, but it's in a blind curve. Like I'm scared of what that's going to be on top of. Like what can merit that kind of statue?
Isn't there one out here by the airport? There's like a historical marker by it right over here close to my house.
I'm sure.
Are you familiar with it?
I'm sure.
It's like, if it's right there on the main road on Meridianville Bottom. It's got like a wrought iron fence around it right there, like a historical marker going past that Ulista place. It's like on the other side of the road.
I'd have to go take a look at it. Haven't been over there since I voted for Mitt Romney, so that's been a while. It's the last time I was on Meridianville Bottom, I think.
Oh dear.
All right, what we got next? We got Lizzie Borden.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to come to that. I wanted to not maybe have a whole episode, but I got to hear something about the Lizzie Borden thing. At least a little bit. Maybe a t-shirt.
Lizzie Borden. I was there during the day, so which really shouldn't make any kind of a difference. But there were other people in the house wandering around, and I really didn't feel a whole lot when I was in the mother's bedroom, and I went to sit down there by the bed, and my granddaughter was with us, and she started freaking out. Grandma, don't, somebody died there. Somebody died in a lot of places, Haley, but that room didn't really give me a whole lot of feelings. Or no, the room where the father was killed was a little bit, you could feel some, but we walked up the back stairs in this house, which I assume was like the maid's quarters or something. And as we were walking, I felt somebody there. I absolutely felt someone there. And I just clicked a picture, and sure enough, there's a, it wasn't a person, but it was an outline. My husband was in front of me, but when we got up to the room, you could definitely feel a presence in there. And it was, I'm not sure the maid didn't have something to do with it.
Ooh, scandal.
Yeah, because it was, I felt more in her room than anywhere in that house.
You heard it here first.
It was,
The maid.
it was, I would like to go back and stay there overnight.
Now, when you say you feel something, what exactly, like in as close as you can describe it, what does it feel like when you say you felt something, like such as the maid's room?
I tend to get, if somebody was distraught in that room, I'm gonna take on that feeling. If someone was like if I'm around a spirit who was killed, say by a whack in the head with a hatchet, I would expect that my head would hurt. Or if they had a heart attack, I would feel it in my chest, or that type of thing. I take on those physical feelings, and I know it's not my feeling. When I was in the maid's room, there was a lot of anger. I felt a lot of anger and guilty feelings. So I looked at my husband and I said, the maid had something to do with it. I'm telling you, the maid was involved. So, of course, there was a man there that is like out of the Lizzie Borden Society or whatever it is that runs, they let people come in. And he said, oh, no. Okay. I'm not going to argue.
No, of course not. That would ruin the narrative.
But I went to, speaking of anger, I had went out to Pearl Harbor and went out to the USS, and I'm feeling it right now. Just my heart just aches. When I went out there, I had so much anger and felt such despair. And while I was walking around there, and I was so angry. And I heard a spirit say to me, let it go. We have. Okay. And it was easier said than done, but because I still get angry when I think of that place. But that's how I know that there's a spirit around, that because I can feel them. I feel them more than see them, or that
must take getting used to. I couldn't imagine it's taking on random emotions. Get into a room.
I know. Well, I tell you what though, I tried for a long time not to, because my kids were kind of embarrassed. Mama was kind of crazy, and so I tried not to deal with any of that. And one day I was talking to a lady, and I said to her, just blurted out, I said, what the hell happened to your toe? and she looked at me kind of funny. I had never met this woman. And she said, "What about my toe?" And I said, "Well, it hurts really bad." And she said, "Yeah." And she had dropped something or did something to her toe. And it was then I knew, okay, I'm picking up random people's stuff because I'm trying so hard to stay away from the psychic stuff and the ghosts, and that's my gift, and God's not going to let me not do it. And it sounds weird, but
I can see where it'd be a blessing and a curse.
it is. It is.
Be great at parties and hard when you're trying to sleep.
Well, I was at my sister's haunted house, and it's definitely a haunted house. And every night before I go to bed at her house, I will say to the spirits that are in there, "I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to feel anything. I don't want to see anything. Just let me go to sleep and leave me alone." Every night I say that at her house, because I have woke up to spirits standing around the bed looking at me.
I'd get a hotel. No.
Scary.
That makes me wonder. That makes me wonder what you think about like Ed and Lorraine Warren and some of the cases that they did.
That was early in my. I was raised up until the time my dad died. My father was Mormon and my mom was a Baptist, and so us kids went to both churches, and that was very weird. When my dad died, my mom turned to the spiritualist church, and so Edgar Casey and those were just beginning at that point in time to gain acceptance. So I believe strongly in reincarnation and all of their teachings. Yeah. Good. I mean, it's, and I had an experience. Somebody had contacted me and said, my house is haunted. What can I do? And so I went out there, and I was trying to speak with the spirit, and we had a recorder going, and so I'm asking questions in my normal voice, and then I'm hearing and I'm repeating what the spirit is saying to me for the recorder so that we can give it to this lady. And again, honest to God's truth, the voice that was coming out of my mouth when I was repeating into the tape recorder was an old, deep German voice. That freaked me out. So that was kind of a scary thing. I wish I had that record.
The accent or the language? Like, were you speaking like a German accent or the German language itself?
With an accent.
Okay.
But my voice was very deep.
Yeah.
Into this. And they said at the time that when I was speaking in my normal voice, but it recorded totally different. So it, like a EVP or something that came through totally different. In that house, I literally, when I was talking and after that was all done, and I was discussing with the owner of the house and telling her what we had found, and I literally felt the spirit leave my body. So I come out and out the top of my head. And I said, "He's gone." So I didn't realize that he was in me, but I knew when he left. Pretty scary stuff.
So how many of those past life analyzations have you done?
Oh,
or just countless?
Countless. I mean, I've been a hypnotherapist since the early 80s, I guess.
Did you have anybody that was notable? Like,
No.
Yeah. Like you always see the movies like, oh, you were Cleopatra. Can't everybody be Cleopatra?
Right. I think most people are just normal people, you know, that I've never had any. I was doing hypnosis one time with a man, and this, which was my first experience with someone spontaneously going back into a past life in which he was an alcoholic. And so I was counseling him, and he said, I said to him under hypnosis, I want you to tell me the first time that I said, you know, we have to eat to survive. We have to drink water to survive. We don't have to drink alcohol. I want you to tell me the first time that you thought, if I cannot drink alcohol, I'm going to die. And he went back to a previous lifetime where he was in a caved-in mine. He was in a mine and it caved in, and a log or whatever came and laid across his legs. And he said there was a bottle of whiskey just out of his reach. But he kept saying, you know, I need to drink that whiskey for the pain, but, you know, and then he was getting pretty thirsty. And he needed that whiskey for survival, he thought. Well, I was not prepared for that, you know. Mm-hmm. I was just doing what I thought was a regular hypnosis session. And he went back to a previous lifetime. So and I know that's true. That stuff is true.
So does it go like, if here's my brain is working like it does and everyone knows how it works. But like if you die like in January of 1983,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to make the Bear Bryant joke, Sam. This is just me. That's what I came up with. But like say, if someone died in January of 1983, do they come back like that afternoon, or do they go somewhere in limbo? And I know you don't have the manual, but
no, but looking at different case studies and my own belief system, I think that we stay in the spirit world, and there's different levels of spirit world, but I think we stay there until our people, the people that we need to, for instance, my father, you know, I know now, I have not felt him in a while, but I know certainly that he was there for all of us kids, and my mother during our growing up times. And I don't think that his spirit will come back until we're all gone. The people that need him as a spirit helper, I don't think he will come back until we're all gone, until he sees us on the other side. And then we will probably all come back together. That's how it works. Our souls travel in groups. So I don't think that, you know, I don't think people come back unless it's an accident, you know, maybe it's an accidental rebirth. I don't know. I don't know how that works, to be honest, but
there's so many semantics you get into with that.
Yeah.
Like I was teasing Sam the other day, and I was pretty sure I was Bear Bryant reincarnated. He died in January 83, and I was born in August. That gave him enough time to get to the and come back.
You really took a step down, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we have to live life in all different social areas, and as males, as females, rich, poor, all different nationalities, because the whole thing is that as we go through our lives, we're supposed to learn something from each lifetime. And if we come back every time as Bear Bryant, whatever, we're not going to learn anything. We're not going to learn what it's like to not be famous, you know.
Okay, here's another one. Do you always come back as like the same ilk? Like, is a Chinese person going to come back as a German, going to come back as a Sudanese?
You're going to come back different probably every time, simply because you have to experience life at all different levels. So I mean, I know from my own regressions that I've lived life normally as a white female. I do know I was a male back in the day of Benjamin Franklin, which I really disliked Benjamin Franklin for whatever reason in that lifetime. But so I know I've been a male, but normally the other lifetimes that I remember have been female.
So you may have been Benjamin Franklin.
I don't know why I disliked Ben Franklin so much. But it was a thing in the past life thing, but I never didn't delve there to find out why. I don't know. But it was really weird because I did that past life regression, and I had a son on a ship, and the ship apparently the little boy was with me for whatever reason, and the ship ran into a storm and the little boy drowned. And I carried that. Well, about 2 weeks after that, my daughter, Katie's little sister, fell in the river that was flooded. And the first thought that hit me was, I'm not going to let another child of mine drown. And obviously, I mean, I saved her, but. So,
that
you know,
that was after that then.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought you, for some reason in my mind, I thought you said it hit you when that happened. I was like, wow, that.
No, it was a couple weeks after.
Okay, so you already knew about that then.
I already knew about it, but that was the first thing that came to my mind was, I'm not going to let another child drown.
Jeez, probably a lot of our fears are based in that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
What were you saying, Sam? I know you had a.
Oh, she answered it.
Oh.
Crap! Now.
Before I could even get it out, I went right to it. So.
Oh yeah. The time of Benjamin Franklin. That's very specific.
It was, yeah.
It's interesting to think about, I guess. Like, you know, I guess the theory of God's not creating new souls, he's recycling them or something. I don't know. I don't really know how I mean, maybe that's a simplified way of saying it. I don't know. Because
I was raised in the spiritualist church, it is our belief that every lifetime you try to better your soul. You try to become, you know, kinder and a better person and non-judgmental. And I have a ways to go, I think. Katie, I believe, is an old soul, but until
I'm pretty sure we all have a ways to go.
Until we're to the point that we're worthy of sitting, you know, at the side of the Lord. So we just have to continue to get better.
I've often wondered if it's not almost, not to take it lightly or anything, but like a sort of a vacation kind of thing.
On the other side or this side?
Like you've been doing this so long, let's go live a life real quick, see what happens. Maybe like, I mean, anything's possible. And
yeah, I mean, is this our purgatory? Is, you know, what is it? I don't know.
Wouldn't be shocked. Wouldn't shock me.
I have no fear of death because I do believe that our loved ones are over there. And I do believe that even after death, we can still be with our people that are still on earth. So I don't know. I don't think they have cruise ships or anything up in heaven, though.
Well, no. Why would you need a cruise ship?
Exactly.
Interdimensional travel. I'm just saying, like, they got to get together. Something.
My mom always said, you know, I think it would just be so boring in heaven to just sit on clouds and look at people, look down at people. on earth all the time.
You don't have the anxiety. That's the chemicals not there. It's just that's what I tell myself, because otherwise it would be boring. I thought
Right.
about that. Like, that would be awful just sitting there.
Yeah, just sitting around on a cloud all day.
I'd have to find a sanatorium to haunt.
Yeah, I don't think that our physical minds can think on that sort of a level.
No,
No.
unless you do DMT or shrooms or something.
It's like trying to kind of actually wrap your head around God.
Have
Like
I?
trying to wrap your physical brain around God is like, it's really impossible. If
Right.
you really think about it.
Yeah, has that particular entity ever entered the equation for you? The meeting, like maybe you're meeting like an angel or something?
I don't know that I don't think I don't think so. I know that I have had conversations with God, and it, as weird as it is, I mean, actual conversations with God. I think they were real to me, and they seem to make sense to me. Was that my subconscious? I don't think so. But, and it's been in times that I've talked to God, not at the end of my rope or anything. It's just, what am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? And I was very clearly told by God, my job was to teach and to preach. I don't think I've accomplished that, but maybe teach, maybe. I don't know that I like to preach. I preach to my kids though, haven't I? My job is complete.
We always hear people talk about meeting demons left and right, but no one's ever like, oh, that was totally an angel I called up.
I don't call them though. I mean, first
Yeah.
off, the Bible does tell you don't call spirits. The Bible is very specific. Do not call spirits. And in my way of thinking, it's like Ouija boards. You don't know who you're calling in. You don't know, and you have to be careful, because and like I said, I didn't ever believe in demons until that night at the Doe Run.
I'm not going anywhere near a Ouija board.
No.
I actually saw a guy buying one last Friday night. I was like, he's bored and he's about to. There's no telling, but me and the wife were going in. What is it, 3rd and Charles or something like that? And we saw a guy getting in his car with a Ouija board, and I was like, all right, mistakes are about to be made.
Yeah.
leave that crap alone, man. I don't care how bored you are. You don't know what you're getting into.
What kind of car was it? I need to know this for approval point.
Perfectly normal car. I actually did have a friend in high school that drove a hearse. That was his normal car. He wanted to be like a mortician for his job. He never actually did that, but he literally drove a hearse to school.
Well, Katie spent a few nights at a mortician's house in the funeral home. My best friend, when she was young, was a mortician.
Yeah, Mom and her husband went on vacation for 2 weeks. That was your 2-week trip to St. Martin, I believe. Yeah, me and my little sister stayed at the funeral home. Yeah, for 2 whole weeks. I mean, it was just, a normal apartment upstairs, right? I mean, he kept the bodies in the basement. It was okay. No worries. We were fine.
I made the mistake of touching my grandfather's hand in a casket, and I will never do it again. I was like, it was the weirdest thing. It's like cold and leathery, and I was like, oh, never doing that again.
Why do I feel like dead bodies don't feel like actual people? Every time I see one, I'm like, that doesn't feel like a person. It's totally a person.
Yeah, but
It's just a shell.
I think, yeah. Once they embalm them,
I'm out.
or once they get cold, I don't know.
All I can think of is Haunting on Hill House. that funeral home. There's a funeral scene on there where she gets up. I'm like, God, no.
So I have to do this, but what are your thoughts? Because we actually went to New York recently, and we rented a car one day and drove out to Amityville just to look at the house, just because I'm a horror movie guy. I like horror movies. We went up there and saw the house. People live there, but just, I mean, obviously you don't have like a personal experience with it, but what,
Well,
do
actually,
you think it
yeah.
will hold, or do you? Do you know people?
I know people who lived there and they told me
They live in the, people who lived in the house?
no, they lived there. They lived in that neighborhood. They lived like
Wait,
next door
what?
or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, and they said what had happened was those people had bought that house and were going bankrupt, and they couldn't afford the house, and so a lot of that crap was made up. Was there a murder there? Yeah, I mean but
Oh yeah.
but just because there was murder there does not mean it was all the rest of the crap happened. But they just wanted out of that house for financial reasons, not because it was haunted. But then they made that was more of a theatrical thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a super nice neighborhood. I'd live there. It's very pretty.
See, I would live in a house. I would live in a house like that. Just go through with my sage, and it'd be all right.
I'm just glad they took the eyes off of it. Doesn't look as weird.
So people didn't want.
Yeah, I think so much of that is Hollywood, because they said, nah, there wasn't nothing there. There wasn't. That really wasn't.
Just ruined Sam's day.
Sorry.
No. No, I mean,
Some realtor's
it's
trick.
funny to go there. It's funny to go there and like see the family, or like I guess it was like a mom and maybe two of the kids that lived there. They were just out in the backyard, right? We're just trying to be inconspicuous. I just wanted to go there. Cool little town, cool neighborhood. Everybody had like little American flags in their yard. It was pretty. I was like, man, it's a nice neighborhood. But yeah, I just wanted to see it. I was like, if I remember where I'm going.
Well, and I've learned going to places and trying to be inconspicuous. You just go and tell them, my friend's grandmother used to live in this house, and so I'm here just because I told her I'd come by and check on the house. Would it be okay if I, just hung around? I mean, I've done that with ghost hunting a lot.
They got a fence around, like a wrought iron fence around the whole property.
I couldn't imagine living in a house that famous. That'd be so annoying.
Yeah.
I'm sure they get bumbled.
Yeah.
Like I said, they changed the windows out so people couldn't recognize it as easy.
Seemed to help. Seemed like it did a lot of good. You just showed up in your rental Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I don't believe Amityville was really a horror. No.
That's funny. You said, wait, somebody lived in that house? Just finding this.
He was like, oh my gosh.
I don't think she'd be surprised. I tend to be unexpected.
I think I'm going to take our money we get for our PTO payout and take Kate's mom to John Benet Ramsey's house.
Oh, I would love to do that.
Just see, let's all pull it together and go out there for a live show.
That would be fun.
She walks in, it was the dog. Knew it.
I love doing stuff like that, and seeing. You don't know what's going to happen.
The OJ house.
Oh yeah. Well, don't get me going on that one.
Totally his son did it, by the way.
I think you might be right. I think you might be right.
Oh yeah. Glove didn't fit.
Mm-hmm. I was probably the only person in the country of Aruba that was watching that every damn day. There I am in a beautiful place, and I'm watching that stupid trial.
Aruba.
I remember it, but I was pretty young.
Yeah, I was only
It was early 90s, I think.
95.
Oh, so I was like
95.
9 or 10. I guess.
94, 95, something like that.
Yeah.
I know I was in 7th grade whenever the verdict was announced, and that was 95. Probably happened in 94. All the cool things happened in 1994.
Yeah, I was 4th or 5th grade then, I guess.
I remember I was
I
sick.
know.
And
You were
stayed home.
probably watching it, Katie, because we homeschooled then. And it was on TV every day.
Yeah.
Well, I remember we lived in Ohio when it happened because we had come home where we had spent, it was during the summer, we had spent some time at Aunt Lou's, and we came home when the chase was actually happening. Like I remember watching it on our TV in the living room in Ohio, and Aunt Lou was there. Like, I remember all that, so it had to have been.
I absolutely remember that.
But the trial didn't happen until we were living up in Atlanta. Yeah.
It had to happen in 94 because I was in 6th grade talking about the forensic analyst Wu, whatever his name was, Fu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember one of my 6th grade friends kept singing a song about Fu. I'll never forget that. Fu, Fu.
Yep, I remember now. Yeah.
Well,
So Justin, do you have anything? I thought we had. How many items did we have on that list?
we had Doe Run. We covered that, which was terrifying. We had Shawshank, Moundsville, Gettysburg, and Lizzie Borden.
I guess we hit them all, huh?
Yeah, I just
Well,
wrote
no,
them
you
down.
didn't. Just the ones you know about. I've done a lot of them. I'll tell you a really cool place is and I can't remember the name of the ship, but there's a Navy ship in Bay City, Michigan, that had been bombed during the Vietnam War, and you can go do overnights there, and that was pretty cool.
Floated it to Michigan.
Hmm?
They floated
Yeah,
it to Michigan.
Come to Michigan.
Through the canal.
Yeah. No, you got to come up and go up to our Cougar Woods property. There's lots of ghosts and stuff up there.
I might not ever make it back out. I become a haunting of Cougar Woods.
That's
Did you
just
ever make
dream.
it to, you ever make it to Waverly Hills? I tried to go there once, and
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
Conflicted
we knew the lady who had bought it, and before she started opening up to tours, we would go in there and help her clean and stuff.
what's her name? I can't remember her name now.
Tina?
Tina Mattingly or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Do you remember, Katie? What her last name was?
You knew the lady that owned Waverly Hills? What in the world?
It's always so, yeah, they like bought it, but it's always so booked out. It's hard to get in there. Like the one date that I was going to be able to book was like the day of the Alabama LSU game one year. And I was like, oh.
Well, I think even I would miss that game for Waverly Hills.
I'm missing it this year to go to a Metallica concert, so I guess I'm a different kind of person. But
I remember
like
being in there cleaning, and there was just little things that were happening in there that we knew that there was something going on. You know, the ball would roll. Were there children, in there?
Yeah, that's like the Waverly Hills thing. Trademark is the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that. I mean, it was neat. I was only and we weren't really doing ghost hunt. We were actually just there cleaning, trying to get it.
You go to the death tunnel, as they call it. I know that's not the proper name for it, I'm sure, but yeah, like the body chute or whatever that they do. You go there?
Oh, we were all over that place, just because it was. But there was I remember there being a water on the floor. There were a bunch of windows, And then maybe, is that the same place? Yeah, that was the same place.
That's Kentucky.
Oh,
isn't it?
we
West
did a
Virginia.
ghost hunt. We did a ghost hunt in someplace out in Missouri where the little girl had been killed in the locker room. I don't remember. Do you remember the name? Were you ever out there, Katie? That place? Oh, it was near St. Louis. And a little girl had been killed in the locker room. And that place was very interesting. There was I remember sitting inside the shower stall and just sitting in there. And I said, I don't think she was killed here. It just didn't feel like the anybody had been killed in there. I think she was killed someplace else, but it was interesting. That place was pretty interesting.
I had to look that one up. Never heard of that.
Yeah, I'll have to look in some of my papers and see where it was. It was, gosh, I can't remember the name of it now. But Alton, there's a place, Alton, Illinois, and you need to go there. That has some very interesting places there too.
I've never been on a real ghost hunt. I've been to the ones you pay $25 for in Savannah.
Oh, yeah, no. The best kind are not the ones that are real organized, but sometimes you have to. But if you can get into some place by yourself without a bunch of crowds and pizza.
Yeah. Then they give you those $5 energy detecting machines that aren't really anything.
Oh,
They're just like a stud finder. Just
right.
kind of beep, 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 beep. Nobody ever uses them. No,
Right.
Everybody always says, I got something over here.
Yeah. See, we used to have all that equipment. I don't know what happened to it. EMF detectors and
I got one of these.
thermometers.
But
What
kind of
is
set the voice recorder.
Oh, okay.
I always called the ghost hunter recorder.
Yeah.
People use them to set them out. Like,
Yeah,
you
to get
talking to this thing.
Yeah. Does it
Have
have
you ever
has
heard of
it worked? What?
No, I don't use it for that. That's just what I call it. That's just what I call it. I don't use it for that.
I was asking if you ever heard of Sloss Furnace and oh, we lost you.
It said it.
She lost Wayne and Amy. Still here?
Am I here?
Yeah, I mean
We can hear you.
Camera's
We can
not.
see you.
Oh,
There you go.
there you are. There you are. You're back.
and we're back.
All right. Sorry.
No, I was going to ask about like there's a somewhat, I guess it's somewhat famous haunted place here called Sloss Furnace in Birmingham. Sloss Furnaces in Birmingham. It's like an old iron. I don't even know what you really call it.
It's a forgery.
Foundry.
Foundry, yeah, foundry.
Maybe.
So they used to cast all the raw iron in those shapes.
Oh.
They have a haunted house there now, but it's actually supposed to be haunted.
How do you get
Probably
in?
people fell in furnaces and stuff. I don't know. They've had like all the, of course, all like ghost hunters and all those people have been there, but yeah, I don't know. They may do. I mean, they probably do like tours and stuff, but I don't know as far as like actually doing a hunt there. I'm not sure.
I think it's more of a commercialized go and get scared by, actual. It's like a fake haunted house, but they do it in an actual haunted house now.
Right.
I think it's more. Of an
But
attraction.
a lot of those places though, you can contact because a lot of them are the historical societies own them and such, and you can contact them and ask if you can get in there to do a private ghost hunt.
I'd last about 5 minutes.
No, you can get really scared, and it's okay, but generally it's not as exciting as what you'd think. It's a lot of sitting around and waiting for something to happen, whether it's you say, okay, turn my, do your flashlight or what type of thing. And you just wait for it.
I guess
Wait for my flashlight, and then you ask, is anybody here or whatever. And could you let us know that you're here by knocking, or give us whatever sign you're comfortable with. So it is a lot of just waiting around.
Yeah, I guess the edits help a lot in the shows.
Yeah.
Because you think it happens like a rapid fire. It's got to take hours.
As soon as you walk in the haunted house, there's visions and smells. I get a lot of smells. I know, but I have sat in. I remember being in I don't even know where it was now. It was some big institution and I was up. And there was a big, like a gymnasium type area. And then there were several little rooms off the side of it. And I could see a light going from the end of the one room through all the rooms as I'm sitting there looking, but every one of them had walls. There was no way for that light to actually go through from room to room to room to room. There were like 4 or 5 rooms. And I just was looking at it, and I believe I have a video of it because it was just, this is paranormal. This is not a normal thing. It was very, and you have that happen, and it's the coolest thing that you're actually seeing this stuff.
I can see it being addicting, really addicting.
It is. And I'm a thrill seeker. I admit I'm a thrill seeker.
I can see that being, once you get over the initial shock factor, the urge to get the hell out of there, then like that's a thrill you chase.
Yeah. And there have been times, I will say, I remember one time being down at it's about 30 miles from here, an old mansion. And I tend not to react when I get scared because I don't want to give them that power. But I was in a upstairs, it was on the 3rd or 4th floor, and it was a ballroom. And I just looked at the girl that was with me, and we both just knew it was time for us to leave. And no words were spoken, but we just looked at each other and quickly walked out, got to the stairs, and walked down to and outside the house before we even said anything to each other. And what the hell was that? And I said, I don't know, but something was telling us it was time for us to go, and I wasn't going to argue.
No. Have you ever got the scratches? The
No.
3 scratches?
No. I've never had anything like that.
The old Holy Trinity, they call it?
No. I don't know what they call it, but I've never had that.
Yeah. There's always somebody getting scratched by a demon. I think that's the demon telling us we got to end this podcast pretty soon. Getting packet lost from the UP. Can you hear me? I know Kate's muted. She can't hear me.
Oh, I can hear you now. I mean, I'm talking now.
See,
yeah, I'm not sure.
In the background, it's kind of creeped me out. His foot was hanging out. I was like, "What's that foot?" Johnny got some big feet.
Hey, Justin, it's best effort for the packet loss.
Yeah, it's not my problem. Put in a ticket.
Yeah, I'm not sure where she went. Something must have happened.
Oh, you never know. Those DSL routers will heat up and lose. I'm not saying she got DSL, but they'll get hot.
I think she has. So she's at her main house right now, which is not in the city, but she lives
her main house.
She lives in a civilization, I guess. Yeah,
She's
I mean,
in
her
her
main
su-
house,
she's in her
versus
summer
Woods,
home.
right?
She's summering in the Lower Peninsula.
Yeah, she's in the Lower Peninsula. That's right.
She's summering.
Okay,
she'll-
let's try this.
Oh, there she is.
Maybe. There I am.
There you are.
I said I think it's the demons telling us we got to end the podcast.
Yeah, it just kept saying it Zoom couldn't detect a camera. So
That crazy Zoom.
I could hear you. No, I'm at my house.
Summering. Yeah, I guess we'll try to wrap it up. It's been like an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh,
We
dear.
hit 45 like in 2 minutes. I was like, man, how 45 minutes just happened? You can't see me, but I'm sitting crisscross applesauce over here. Just
Yeah, I've
So,
been
Mom,
like this,
maybe
like, the
next
whole
time. And next time, Mom, maybe you can discuss what was that, the Lemp Mansion in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah,
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
You have the Hardwick House in Kentucky. That was a good one. Yeah, those are two very good ones. The Lemp Mansion, that was definitely a fun one. That'd be a good one
Oh,
to talk
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
Felt
you making
safer
notes there,
inside
Dawn?
yeah, I'm making.
I felt safer inside that Limp Mansion inside with the ghosts than outside.
Yeah, that was a scary neighborhood. St. Louis don't play around.
Well, yeah, because they told us if you left anything out in your car, don't go after it after dark.
Ghosts be locking their doors.
Yeah. It was scary.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, let me ask you: have you ever seen any Bigfoot sightings up in the Cougar Woods?
I haven't.
Up in the Uper?
No, but they do say that about 30 miles from where we are, they say that that's where there's been a lot of sightings over there.
So if we could get you on with some Bigfoot detection, that'd be. I would quit my job and travel the country in an RV.
You gotta wander around with beef jerky or something, don't you?
You gotta maybe some romaine lettuce. That's how you catch a turtle. Never mind.
Well, y'all are welcome to come up there.
Oh yeah,
You would love it.
I'm scared. I like every place I go, and I can't stand that about myself because I always want to move,
Well,
especially if it's outside.
it's a good place to visit, but you don't want to live there. It's way too cold in the wintertime. You know, minus 43 for days.
Woo! What a cold spot.
It's very cold up there.
Oh. Well, all right. I think we've exhausted our resources for now. Spent $14 to get Zoom Pro. They've used the heck out of it.
It was well spent.
I know.
Keep
I
using
mean, can you imagine having to reconnect every 40 minutes? We'd have to do that twice by now. At
Well,
least.
apparently, I'm not going to buy Zoom Pro because I don't Zoom enough.
Well, no,
I Zoom in other ways.
it's basically for the host. It can have more than one person for more than 40 minutes.
Oh.
And I was trying to have more than one debate style show or debate discussion. It's like I don't want to stop it every 40 minutes, get in the heat of an argument. Hold on, guys, check your email, send another link.
Oh yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being on here, Amy / Kate's mom, and hopefully you can come back later.
Oh, I will.
Gather
I
some more
hope
energy.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, so here I am.
You did it perfectly.
But
Right.
now I'm
Hear the
going to be
story
going.
from you.
But next time you see me, I'm gonna have eyelashes.
You have eyelashes.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you have now?
Well, I was on chemo medicine for a long time, and my eyelashes all fell out.
Oh, okay.
So they never came back. So I'm getting fake eyelashes put on. So I told Katie, no, I can't do this till I get eyelashes. But then I'm on a screen, so I had to have my glasses anyway, so you couldn't even see if I had eyelashes or not.
I don't.
Yeah, can't even tell that you have no eyelashes, Mom. You look great.
No.
But next time you see me, I'm going to be all nice and tan from the Bahamas.
You come back with some Bahamian ghosts. You gotta let us know.
Yeah, I hope I don't bring nothing back from there.
Yeah, that's the land of voodoo. That's real stuff there. Come back with a chicken head and a rope full of garlic.
Oh, my sister, yeah, like the little voodoo queen that lived down the road from my sister. Yeah, I respect that shit. I'm not. Yeah.
Hey,
What's the
when I was
name
in
of
New
that
Orleans-
place in New Orleans that where the that we tried to
Madam.
Marie Laveau.
Oh.
No.
That plantation or
What was that
whatever?
one's house, Katie, that the actor owns? Nicholas Cage.
Oh, the Nicolas Cage house.
Yeah. Where the crazy woman, crazy doctor's wife lived there. And she had that party and served she had 600 peacocks killed so they could eat peacock tongue. But she did weird experiments on
Lord have
their
mercy.
slaves. And we went to that house. Yeah. I can't remember the name of that damn place. That woman's.
I'm just picturing 600 peacocks in one room. What that would be like.
They couldn't talk. They didn't have tongues.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This has been a fun one. It's levels. Go ahead and wrap it up,
All right.
folks. Thanks for being
Okay.
on for real. I want to see you again soon.
All right. Bye. What
All
do I
right.
do? How do I hang up?
Yep. I'll end it here in a second. See everybody else tomorrow.
It's a podcast. That's another podcast.